For years, hundreds of thousands of expeditions have tried to unravel all the mysteries that exist on Earth. However, it seems that the more we investigate, the more questions and strange things come to light. Join us as we examine the 10 most recent and controversial archaeological discoveries. Number 1. The skull with a metal implant is one of the most fascinating and mysterious discoveries in modern archaeology. Found at a pre-Columbian site in the Lambayeque Valley, Peru, this skull belongs to the Sycan culture, which flourished between 750 and 1375 AD. What makes this find extraordinary is the implantation of a metal plate into the skull, apparently performed as an early form of cranial surgery. The plate, made of a gold and copper alloy, was placed to cover a traumatic head injury, possibly caused by a blunt force blow. This procedure shows an advanced level of medical knowledge and surgical skills for the time. Studies of osseointegration, where bone fuses with metal, suggest that the individual survived the surgery, indicating a remarkable understanding of medicine and the skill of pre-Columbian surgeons. The Sycan culture is known for its skills in metallurgy, especially in the creation of highly complex ceremonial and ornamental objects. However, the application of these skills in medicine opens new perspectives on the level of technological and scientific development of the ancient civilizations of South America. This implanted skull also raises questions about the purpose of the surgery. It could have been a medical intervention to save the individual's life, a ritual practice to treat spiritual illnesses, or a combination of both. The precision of the cutting and placement of the plate suggests advanced technique and a deep understanding of human anatomy. In addition, the finding contributes to the debate on the exchange of knowledge between ancient cultures. Some theorize that there may have been contact with other advanced civilizations, allowing for the exchange of medical and technological techniques. In summary, the metal-implanted skull of the Sycan culture is a striking testimony to the ingenuity and skill of pre-Columbian civilizations, revealing unknown aspects of their medical knowledge and their ability to perform complex surgical interventions. Number 2. The three-fingered mummy, presented to the world by researcher Jamie Mawson, is one of the most controversial and discussed finds in contemporary archaeology. Discovered in 2017 near Nazca, Peru, this mummy, approximately 1.68 meters tall, has generated intense debate due to its unusual anatomical features, which include 3 long fingers on each hand and foot, an elongated skull, and an atypical bone structure. The mummy was subjected to several carbon-14 dating tests, which suggested an age of between 1,700 and 1,800 years, placing it in the pre-Columbian period. However, the authenticity and origin of the mummy have been the subject of skepticism and controversy within the scientific community. Many experts argue that it could be fraud or an alteration of known human remains. X-ray and CT scan images have shown a bone structure that some researchers consider human, but with modifications. Proponents of the mummy's authenticity, such as Mawson, argue that it could be evidence of an unknown humanoid species or extraterrestrial visitations in ancient times. One of the most intriguing aspects of the mummy is the presence of metal implants inside the body, which has led some to speculate about the advanced technology used by this supposed civilization. Additionally, the mummy's skin appears to be covered in a white substance, possibly used in the mummification process. The discovery has been presented in various forums and media, generating both enthusiasm and criticism. Studies on the mummy continue, with teams of scientists seeking to determine its true origin and nature through more advanced genetic and morphological analyses. Number 3. The mummified mermaid, discovered in Kochi, Japan, has generated astonishment and speculation among locals and experts alike. This creature, which measures approximately 30 centimeters long, has an upper part that resembles a human and a lower part similar to the tail of a fish. The mummy, found in an ancient temple, dates back around 300 years and has been the subject of local veneration, considered by some to be a mythical creature with healing properties. The mermaid was subjected to various scientific tests, including DNA analysis and radiological studies, to determine its authenticity. The results of these studies have been mixed and often controversial. Some scientists believe it could be an elaborate work of taxidermy, combining parts of different animals, possibly a monkey and a fish, which was a common practice in Japan and other parts of Asia during certain historical periods to create curiosities. The discovery in Kochi has revived interest in legends of mermaids and sea creatures in Japanese culture. Mermaids, known as ninjyo in Japanese, are described in folklore as creatures that can grant longevity and health to those who consume them, although they can also bring bad luck if captured or damaged. The temple where the mummy was found has seen an increase in the number of visitors, attracted by the legend and mystery surrounding the creature. This phenomenon has sparked a debate about the authenticity and origin of the mummified mermaid, raising questions about the intersection between myth, reality, and human fascination with the unknown. Number 4. The Pharaoh Medal, Tutankhamun and his legacy. Tutankhamun was an Egyptian ruler who reigned from the end of the 18th dynasty in 141 BC until his death in 1324 BC, at the age of 19. Although Tutankhamun's fame paled in comparison to that of his successors, during his reign the young king was frequently praised by the Egyptian people for correcting the injustices of his predecessor and reforming Egypt after Akhenaten left it in ruins. State of agitation. The young pharaoh's global popularity arose primarily due to European exploration of the various royal tombs more than 3,000 years after his death. The fascination with Tutankhamun, as we know him today, arose more from his tomb than from the king himself. Howard Carter, an English archaeologist and Egyptologist, discovered Tutankhamun's tomb in the Valley of the Kings, Luxor, in 1922, almost completely intact. These discoveries were significant to archaeologists, as they sparked renewed interest in ancient Egypt and the wonders of Luxor, establishing Howard Carter and Tutankhamun as household names around the world. Number 5. Jade stones with mysterious sculptures. Residents on the outskirts of Puebla, near Veracruz, Mexico, found in March 2017 jade stones with mysterious sculptures that appear to represent humanoid beings with large heads, similar to gray aliens. This finding was reported on Twitter by journalist Javier Lopez Diaz from Cinco Radio. The stones, studied by experts, present engravings that could represent a real contact between beings from other worlds and the Mayan or Aztec civilizations. The authenticity of these artifacts seems to be confirmed by the inspection of a nearby cave, where more remains and petroglyphs were found that reproduce scenes of an encounter between extraterrestrial beings and pre-Hispanic cultures. Various sculpted designs can be seen on the documented stones, including spaceships and beings resembling gray aliens. One of the stones shows a spaceship with a being holding an oval object and a pre-Hispanic chief with an ear of corn. The discoverers called these stones first meaning stones. Researchers suggest that ancient locals would have had contact with extraterrestrials and documented it through rock engravings. Hector Pavon, in charge of the team's security, stated, "They are extraterrestrial ships, and more than anything they are teaching us that the extraterrestrials had contact with the Mayans, dialoguing and making exchanges." Number 6. In 2008, a team of scientists from the University of New Wales announced the discovery of the remains of a giant parrot near Sundance in central Otago, New Zealand. In an area recognized for containing a great variety of bird fossils from the Miocene period. The giant parrot, also known as Hieracles inexpectatus, lived 19 million years ago, was about 1 meter tall and weighed 7 kilograms. Basing their diet on fruits and occasionally birds. Its name seems familiar to you, it is because that is also the name of the hero of Greek mythology, Heracles, letting you know that this unusual parrot was extraordinarily strong. Furthermore, it was an unexpected but incredible find. It is believed that Heracles inexpectatus could not fly because its wings were not capable of lifting its enormous weight. However, it is possible that this parrot with its enormous thighs was able to climb and slide through the trees. Number 7. Giant claw of the moas. Moas were a group of 9 different species of birds in New Zealand that were unable to fly and became extinct almost 2,000 years ago. During an archaeological dig in 1986, archaeologists made a surprising discovery: a moa claw in a cave. Far from just a bone, the scientists found that both the muscles and the skin were still intact, unlike the mummified bodies typical of ancient cultures. The largest of the moas discovered was more than 3 meters high and weighed more than 226 kilograms. Without a doubt, a real giant. Number 8. Lindbren's tunic. It was discovered in 2011 by archaeologists conducting research in the Lindbren area in the mountainous Jenin region of Norway. This robe and other artifacts have been preserved for centuries in ice and snow, protected from the effects of time. In the Viking Age, from the 8th century to the 1st century, the Vikings, renowned for their craftsmanship and rugged clothing, played a pivotal role in medieval history through expeditions and exploration in Europe. Lindbren's tunic, dated to that era, is more than a garment, it is a direct link with the past. This well-preserved artifact offers valuable information about Viking clothing, highlighting the skill and attention to detail in its manufacture. Made of wool with a diamond herringbone pattern, it demonstrates the Vikings' skill in textile production, highlighting the importance of clothing as protection from the elements and a symbol of social status. This discovery reinforces the idea that the Vikings valued quality and design in their clothing. Number 9. The Bowl of Gold. In 1958, archaeologists in northwestern Iran discovered a shattered bowl of gold in the charred remains of an ancient fortress called Harts or Hizar Anshan. This Iron Age fortress was near present-day Panur. The bowl was more than 3,000 years old and belonged to the royal domains of Urartu, an Iron Age kingdom in Armenia. The bowl was decorated with images of warriors, chariots, and mythological figures made of solid gold. Although very valuable in its time, it was found damaged among the ruins of Harts. Experts believe that around 800 BC, Harts was attacked by enemies who invaded the citadel during the chaos of the invasion. 3 soldiers attempted to take the golden bowl, but were trapped under the rubble as the citadel was destroyed by fire. His outstretched hands held the shattered remains of the bowl. These soldiers were not heroes, but looters who risked their lives for material gain and lost both their lives and treasure. This shattered bowl is a reminder of the dangers of looting and greed in times of war, and how it often leads to significant human and material loss. Number 10. The Vikings, known for their ferocity, carried the Ulfbert sword, a weapon constructed of steel so pure that its quality remains difficult to replicate today. Around 171 Ulfbert swords, dating between 800 and 1000 AD, have been found in Europe. These swords were made of a metal with almost no impurities, known as crucible steel, which required smelting iron at very high temperatures, something unknown in Europe for centuries. Ulfbert steel contained 3 times more carbon than other swords of the time, making them stronger, more flexible, and lighter. This level of purity and carbon control was a feat thought impossible before the Industrial Revolution. However, medieval blacksmiths could not reach the temperatures necessary to separate slag from iron. Experts believe that temperatures of 1,700 degrees Celsius were needed to make Ulfbert, which Viking smiths achieved 800 years before their time. Although the secret of its construction has been lost, Modern blacksmith Richard Furrer managed to recreate a similar sword using medieval technology, although he described it as extremely complex. The name Ulfbert engraved on the swords remains an enigma. Some believe it represents a legendary blacksmith or a family of blacksmiths, while others suggest it could be related to a monastery or secret society. The Ulfbert were probably weapons of the Viking elite, as only 171 have been found. The origin of the technology used to create these swords is unknown, which has led to speculation about the influence of an advanced civilization on the knowledge of metallurgy. The mystery of the name Ulfbert and how the Vikings acquired this technology remains one of the great archaeological enigmas.